Next on Worcester News tonight, Governor Charlie Baker signs an education reform bill, providing investments in public schools across the state. Plus, a Southbridge family continues an annual tradition, preparing Thanksgiving dinner for more than 200 people. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. Worcester police on scene of a fatal pedestrian accident this evening in the area of Park Avenue between Elm and Highland Streets. A 66-year-old male was killed. The area was shut down for several hours as the crash reconstruction unit investigated. Witnesses say items like a single sneaker could be seen in the street. The crash is under investigation. Governor Charlie Baker signs an education funding bill today. It provides $1.5 billion in new spending. The funding will be distributed within schools across the state over the next 7 years. The goal is to make sure schools get the highest quality resources regardless of zip code. Lawmakers say the money will cover expenses associated with special education and English language learners. State Representative David LeBoeuf calls it an investment in the future.
This is a great bill because not only does it help, gateway cities like Worcester, it also helps rural communities like Leicester that are in my district in supporting the diverse needs of every student, regardless of ability, regardless of medical needs, and making sure teachers have resources that they deserve. And the new law mandates districts submit their first 3-year plan to the state by April 1st. A Southbridge family is doing what they can to ensure everyone has a meal on Thanksgiving Day. Now an annual tradition, the Carrascos have spent the last few days preparing a meal for those who may not have one otherwise. Our Cam Jandro has more.
The first time Esteban Carrasco and his family hosted a public Thanksgiving, one person showed up. But it was the man's story which motivated them to keep trying.
He said I would have been home alone. And he literally shed a tear and he said, "Thank you for giving me a place to be able to eat with family."
The family meal has grown. The Carrascos fed more than 150 people last year. The idea came from Esteban's wife, who says everyone should have company on Thanksgiving.
You're going to have someone to talk to. You're going to have someone to share a story with, someone to hug. And I think that to us, that just, our motto as a family is one life matters.
The family and volunteers spent Tuesday night setting tables and portioning the cranberry sauce. The Thanksgiving meal is being served at the Elm Street Congregational Church. Volunteers will also lend a hand Thursday.
Everyone needs to find that thing or that way that they can give back to their community. Do something for someone else who they may not know or they may never see again.
Carrasco's kids will help serve the meal with all the fixings: turkey, sides, and dessert. Now in its 8th year, there is no other way they'd rather celebrate Thanksgiving.
Either homeless people, elderly, or if you just have nobody to hang out with on Thanksgiving.
I just like seeing the people walk through the door and see their faces light up with joy, because people don't have food sometimes.
Their hope, setting an example for all.
We can be there for others and give back.
Now, Carrasco says they've prepared enough food for about 200 people this year. They'll be handing out dinner from 12 p.m. until 2 p.m. And for those who can't make it to the church on Thursday, they've also set up a delivery system. Carrasco says they have about 80 people they're looking to deliver to. In the studio tonight, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
For a lot of people, the Thanksgiving rush starts today. It's one of the busiest travel days of the year. AAA expects a record number of holiday travelers to be on the move this week. In Worcester, some people were heading to the airport today in hopes of beating traffic on Wednesday.
We're going to visit my parents and my sister in Orlando. We board at 3:30, so we figured, leave our house at 1 o'clock, get here around 2. That would lead to the tranquility of the holiday.
So I'm just trying to beat that traffic, beat all the hustle, people trying to get home.
More than 55 million people are expected to travel between tomorrow and Sunday. It's 1.6 million more than last year, the second highest jump since AAA began recording data.
Chicopee Provision Company will be closed for the holiday season, meaning it won't be selling its well-known kielbasa during one of its busiest times of year. The company says a water pipe burst in September. It left 5 feet of water in the basement, damaging freezers and a cooler. They are making repairs and improvements to comply with USDA regulations. The Christmas season is one of their busiest times of the year for sales of their Blue Seal kielbasa.
We just want everybody to know that this is just temporary and that we're bringing the building back to a better standard so that everybody can have their products back that they enjoy, and we'll see them again in 2020.
Carolyn Donnelly says they are expecting to open on January 1st. It will be their 100th year in business. Hundreds of veterans and their families will enjoy a Thanksgiving meal thanks to Veterans, Inc. The organization held its annual holiday harvest in Worcester Tuesday. Families received a Thanksgiving dinner food box and were able to fill it with items. Veterans, Inc. prepared for months to collect food to support more than 500 families. President and CEO Vincent Peroni says the event is their way of saying thank you to veterans in the community who may be struggling.
For us, Veterans Day is every day. We try to help our veterans as often as we can, with any way we can, because those men and women who served our country honorably need to be treated with respect.
Veterans, Inc. will also be open and serving a Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. A gathering of firefighters from across Massachusetts 1 week after saying goodbye to Lieutenant Jason Menard. The annual Firefighter of the Year Awards honors the best of the state. Our Chandler Walsh was at the ceremony and has more.
A touching tribute for a fallen brother.
He was a great firefighter. He was an even better person.
The Roy family accepts an award for Worcester firefighter Christopher Roy. He's being honored with the Medal of Honor for the Massachusetts Firefighter of the Year Awards.
I don't think any of us had a dry eye sitting there watching that video.
Roy died in December 2018 fighting a fire on Lowell Street. Worcester firefighters say they're forever grateful for his service and say the Roys are part of their family.
The Roy family is incredibly strong. We're there for them, but really, they're there for us. They keep us strong. They're an inspiration.
Several other Worcester firefighters were also honored for their conduct and valor. These men and women saved 7 people, including 2 children, in a fire on Merrifield Street in March.
Cold was against us with frozen hydrants or, slippery conditions, but everyone worked as a team and we were able to come out with the best possible outcome.
Firefighters say the recognition isn't something they want or ask for.
None of them want the attention, exactly the opposite, but they deserve it, they earn it.
We just go in, we do our job, and we just hope to come home. But it's nice that the state recognizes it.
They say fellow members who have died show selflessness and bravery.
They did a lot, and they gave, everything for people they didn't know, which is, it's pretty high up in everyone's book, I think.
Fallen Worcester Fire Lieutenant Jason Menard is expected to be honored at next year's award. Another Central Mass department was also honored. Westboro firefighters received an award for a group work and also a leadership award. In Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
The investigation into the fire where Worcester Fire Lieutenant Jason Menard died is focusing on the building's 2nd floor. According to the Telegram, court documents show residents saw a heater on fire. A search warrant says investigators collected debris from the 2nd floor in the days following Menard's death. Cigarette lighter remains were also recovered from a 2nd floor bedroom. The fire remains under investigation. The quick actions of police officers helped save an Agawam man's life. He suffered multiple heart attacks in one night. Now, a little more than a month later, he's recovering, and his fiance is thanking those officers. Our Valerie Bell has the story.
Melanie Maynard has been with her fiance for the last 10 years. She says she couldn't live her life without him. But one night, she almost had to.
I heard this awful noise. It was the most horrendous noise I've ever heard in my life.
It was around 2 a.m. and her fiancé, Dwayne, was having a massive heart attack.
And I kept going, Dwayne, 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 and he wasn't responding.
Melanie immediately called 911 and was shocked by what happened next.
These guys got here so fast, and they ran upstairs. They checked his pulse, and they said, get her out of here.
When emergency responders arrived, they used an AED and transported Dwayne to the hospital where he had 3 more heart attacks. She said if it weren't for the quick response of the police department that her fiance would not be here with us today.
Because of their quick action of them getting here, they were able to keep the blood flowing into his brain, and he still had brain activity. And because of that, he's alive today.
Unfortunately for Melanie, loss is something she is familiar with. Her daughter died after an overdose. Melanie wears her ashes around her neck every day as a reminder.
I lost my daughter a year ago. I lost my husband to a massive heart attack.
In 2003, her husband had a heart attack while driving. She says she couldn't go through the pain again.
I put my head on his shoulder and I was crying. I said, you know, you promised you would never leave me.
Melanie and Dwayne say they are forever grateful for the actions of Agawam police officers Lansky and Jenkins. Melanie says the officers are the reason the couple will be able to spend more time with each other.
I just can't thank them enough for what they've done. They saved this man from me being alone. I don't think I could have handled it.
In Agawam, Valerie Bell, Worcester News Tonight.